All right, let's continue on here. So basically this webinar is titled, as you can see, Giving Your Trade a Second Chance. The reason of this webinar is because, like a lot of times what happens is that when we see a clean move, when we see a clear move, what happens is that we'll take a trade, we'll get stopped out, and after a while price will still go in our way, right? So that's very frustrating. And I've been back testing, well, I'm not been back, I've been live testing this. I've been testing how to take, the second entries, or how to give your trade a second chance. So now, you have to be very careful. When you're giving your trade a second chance, you have to be mindful of the fact that you need to keep risk managed. Because if you don't keep risk managed, and if you're using your full risk on the first attempt, and the second attempt is going to be added risk, then it's not going to work. It's going to be very, very risky. So this webinar is for you if you see a perfect trade but get stopped out all the time, don't know where to enter, where to put stop losses. I know we've been through this second point a lot of times, so I think it's going to be a good refresher to go over this again. Trade runs in your favor after getting stopped out, so we're going to see how we can enter second positions, trading based on fear rather than logic. What this basically means is that when you take a trade, and it's a logical trade, it makes sense, you take a trade, it stops you out, and then when the new opportunity comes, you're not confident enough to take that trade. Why? Because now you're trading based on fear. Now you're trading based on the fact that, okay, you got stopped out the previous time, so now this time you might get stopped out again. But in reality, the new trade is completely independent of the last trade. Right? So let's move forward here. Let's see what we got. So first of all, we need to identify what are the best times to trade. Most people, what they do is they want to come back, they want to come in the afternoon sessions, or they want to come in around, like, when there's not enough volume. So you need to identify what are the best times to trade. The number one best time to trade is when there's volume in the market, right? So you have to ask yourself, when is there volume in the market? When markets open or when markets close? That's when you have a lot of volume in the market. So if you think about it, the only time we should be trading is when, let's say you're coming to the market when there's pre-New York. When you have pre-New York, there's a lot of volume in the market, so that means you could catch some moves. That means the candles are going to be big enough for you to catch a trade. So let's say pre-New York, New York open, and then you have London close. Actually, let's go to the next slide right over here. Okay, perfect. So when we're over here, these are the premium times to trade.